Welcome back to Secrets Behind the Stars. I've been waiting to sit down with you for this one, because the whispers, the hints, and the near-silent stares have been driving the fandom wild. If you clicked in, you already know why you're here. We're digging into Gökberk, Yıldırım and Cemre Arda. Are the sparks between them warming up again, or are we all just reading poetry into shadows? Today, we're putting every clue on the table, every rumor under the microscope, and every flicker of feeling back into context. Buckle up, because we're about to sift through everything that has people asking, is love finding its way back to them, or are we chasing a mirage? Before we dive in, a quick reminder, if you enjoy deep dives like this, make sure you're subscribed to Secrets Behind the Stars and turn on notifications so our latest breakdowns find you first. Now, let's rewind, because context is everything. Gökberk and Cemre didn't captivate millions by accident. Their rise as a beloved pair was powered by a screen chemistry that felt unforced, textured, and electric. Fans saw it in the silences, the lingering gazes, the way laughter seemed to come easily between them in behind-the-scenes moments. Off-screen, that sense of closeness didn't fade. It grew, flared even, through public events and a sprinkling of posts that suggested a tenderness neither of them was trying to exploit, just live. Then, almost as quickly as it seemed to flourish, came the news that it was over. No explosive statements. No public blame. Just a quiet, clean break that left a noise behind it, questions, theories, emotions, and the gnawing hope that maybe, someday, they'd find their way back. Since then, the speculation hasn't let up. It's circled through timelines and comments sections, a kind of heartbeat under everything they do. And recently, that heartbeat has gotten louder. So what's fueling it? Let's talk about the little things that add up when you're paying attention. Social media. The place where a double tap can stand in for a paragraph, and a single word can become a confession. Over the past few months, fans noticed that Gökberk and Cemre weren't moving like exes who've blocked out the past. There were likes. Not one, not two, but a steady thread. Sometimes a short, warm comment. A simple, congratulations. A, proud of you. The kind of words that say, I see you and I'm rooting for you, even if I'm not standing next to you. Taken alone, it's polite. Taken together, it sounds like life spoken softly. You don't engage with someone's happy moments unless you're okay with them touching you again, even if only from a distance. And then there's the ripple effect. The way mutual friends become a bridge even when you're trying to stay on your own shore. You've noticed it, because we did, too. They each pop up under posts from the same people. Stories go up, and both of them react. A mutual follows a new project, and both chime in with support. That doesn't necessarily mean they're plotting a reunion, but it does reveal something crucial: they still orbit the same sun. They still share late-night dinners after industry screenings, still end up invited to the same private gatherings, still know how to laugh at the same in-jokes only that circle understands. When your worlds overlap like that, it's hard not to feel the echo of what once made sense. Travel has become another thread in this tapestry of maybe. Not grand vacations or side-by-side selfies, nothing that obvious. Instead, it's a pattern you only catch if you're tracking dates and cities the way devoted fans do. He posts a sunrise from a coastal set. Days later, she shares a dusk from the same stretch of sky. A fashion event in a European capital, he's tagged at a hotel lobby, then she's photographed with a stylist who was seen there that night. The overlaps might be coincidence. Maybe schedules just happen to align. But when it happens often, the mind does what it always does. It connects dots until they form a picture. Are they slipping into the same places on purpose? Are they cautious, careful, curious? Or are we the ones drawing lines between stars that were never meant to make a constellation? Interviews have only fanned the fire. Neither of them plays games with their words, neither of them spills private stories for clicks. Yet when asked about each other, neither shuts the door. Gökberk, steady-eyed, the kind of person who weighs every sentence, has said things you don't say about someone who's only your past. He talks about admiration, about learning, about someone who brought light into a room he never wanted to leave too quickly. Cemre responds with that composed, luminous way she has, measured, gracious, a little guarded, but the warmth is there. She calls him talented, kind, and important to her journey. Not gushing. Not vague. Just clear enough to tell anyone listening that what they had mattered and still occupies a quiet place in their narratives. If either of them wanted the idea of a reunion buried, this isn't how you talk. And then there are the rumors that never sleep. A grainy clip outside a private space in Istanbul, two figures shaped like what we want to see. A voice note that could be anyone but sounds like someone we all know. Friends who hint on private accounts about reunions and reconnections, the kind of subtle nudges only insiders know how to sprinkle. Every time a photo surfaces, blurred, distant, imperfect, fans lean in, hope in their throats. But the truth is, rumor has a way of creating its own momentum. It can become its own kind of weather. And still, even as we remind ourselves to be careful, we can't ignore how persistent the stories are, how they refuse to die. Why are we so eager to believe? Because we watched them glow once, and there's a part of us that wants that light again. It's worth pausing here. People don't fall in love with a couple by accident. They fall in love with what that couple makes them feel. With Gökberk and Cemre, it's that aura of generosity, two people who lift others up in their orbit. It's watching gentle banter turn into something real, watching mutual respect carry a story further than a script ever could. When a love like that goes quiet, it's human to hope for an encore. It feels like rooting for a story we didn't get enough of, a chapter that ended just as it became our favorite. But let's be real, too. The industry moves like a carousel that never stops, and careers demand sacrifices. Both of them are working. New roles, unexpected directions, the kind of choices that require focus. Maybe the affectionate comments are simply a sign of maturity. Maybe the shared circles are just professional gravity. Maybe the matching cities are nothing more than overlapping schedules. Both could be dating privately or choosing solitude as a way to reset. What's certain is that they've handled their post-breakup lives with grace. No messy public unraveling. No sharp edges sliced into captions. Just forward motion, each in their lane, nodding to the other when they pass. Still, that doesn't erase the visible spark when they're forced into proximity. At events, on carpets, in rooms where cameras are invited but intimacy isn't, something murmurs between them. It shows up in a glance that lands and then detours, a smile that flickers and returns, a touch that almost happens and then, with a breath, doesn't. Fans pick up those gestures the way sailors read wind. It's not proof. It's not policy. But it is a feeling you can't fully dismiss. So, is love back? The honest answer. There's no definitive sign, no post that reads, "We're back," no hand-in-hand photo designed to break the internet. There's only a soft accumulation of tenderness, scattered across platforms and cities, threaded through interviews and echoing in rooms where people who know them try not to say too much. There's respect. Affection. A rhythm that hasn't stopped, even if the song changed. For a lot of people, that's enough to keep the candle lit. What we do know is that the public hasn't moved on. Not really. Mention their names in the same sentence and the response is immediate. Views spike. Comments fill. Everyone has a theory, a clue, a hunch. The story of Gökberk and Cemre became larger than a fling or a PR line. It became a small mirror for those of us who have loved deeply and learned to let go without forgetting how it felt. Whether they choose to rewrite the old script or simply protect a friendship that survived the hardest chapter, this pairing already left a mark that isn't going anywhere. Let's gather the threads we've followed today. We've seen their social media footprints overlap in small but steady ways. We've watched mutual friends serve as accidental conduits. We've traced possible travel coincidences and listened closely to interviews that are warm without being reckless. We've measured the reliability of rumors and acknowledged our own desire to believe. We've balanced hope with reality, romance with reason. And what remains after all of that is a door that doesn't look locked. Maybe it isn't flung open. Maybe it's just resting on the latch, moving a little with every draft of possibility. If you've been here long enough, you know we don't promise what we can't prove. But we also don't pretend not to see what's glowing. The truth is that the bond between Gökberk Yıldırım and Cemre Arda still hums, even in the quiet. Perhaps that hum becomes music again. Perhaps it becomes the softest companionable silence. Either way, there's dignity in how they've carried it, and curiosity in how we watch. Thank you for sitting with me through this deep dive. I want to hear your take. Do you think the warmth we're seeing is a prelude to something new, or the signature of two people who learned to love without needing to hold on? What moments made you look twice? Drop your thoughts below. I read everything, and our conversations here are half the fun. If this breakdown resonated with you, give it a like, share it with anyone who misses the magic of these two, and make sure you're subscribed to Secrets Behind the Stars with notifications turned on. That way, when the next clue lands, or when the truth finally steps into the light, you'll be the first to know. Until then, keep your eyes open, keep your heart steady, and I'll see you in the next one.